Hey 12 Weens. I am Tiger Woods. My voice is a little high because as part of my sex rehab therapy, I have had my balls removed. So here we are in week 14, which concludes the grumpiest season in recent memory. It hasn't been the greatest year for me either, seeing as how I haven't laid the Tiger Wood into any ladies since Thanksgiving. Anyways, let's get on to the games and recap the worst year ever. First we have Wu and Craig's game, which was about as interesting as watching Wu's pudding routine. And I thought I was slow on the greens. Basically, Wu could have started all the players on his team and still would have lost. Meanwhile, Craig's victory rings hollow because he loses out on his chance at being in the gold division again. Welcome to your first year in the Poo division, Wu-Tang. At least you can already put D&D next to the 14 players on your roster for next year and save some time. Now we have Gunnar and Joe's game, which had some huge implications in terms of playoffs. Thanks to a Josh McDaniels-esque coaching blunder, Joe left bountiful points on the bench as Nate giggled with delight at the backdoor entry into gold. Meanwhile, Gunnar's strong draft and crafty pickup of Brandon Lloyd off waivers paid off big, netting him points title and a division crown despite losing Gar for the year. Limping in is still worth something. Sorry, Joe, but that bad karma from selling homes to people who can't afford them is now catching up to you, son. The Founding Fathers battle between Adam and Peter formally crushed the Sacknuts with their fantasy revival as disappointing as the economic recovery under President Hope and Change. Adam's son, Nathan, took his spot with a scant few breakdown wins separating them. Meanwhile, Pete scores a moral victory in an otherwise doomed season. Now the prospects of having to plan a wedding and not a fantasy draft loom large for our once great godfather. Fart break. Meanwhile, Mike squeaked out a victory against Chad to seal his gold berth in the NFC West of 12 Weens with a Monday Night Miracle. Andre saved the day for Mike and his ragtag team. Meanwhile, Vic couldn't reproduce his previous Monday Night Magic for Chad as every tight end on the bench scored a touchdown while Watson ate it. I am sure the Nispies will garner some Coach of the Year votes for that. Isn't it kind of suspicious that Mike and Chad are such close friends and Chad started his worst tight end in a crucial game for the Bretts? Collusion, anyone? Back to watching Grey's Anatomy and syndication for Chad without the looming concerns of having to plan another draft. Now we have to sift through the Plowman and Mills debacle. I thought nobody would score below Wu's 27 points. But thank you, Plowman, for boasting a Michael Jordan with some mega performances by his gay brigade of players. Tim Hightower and Peyton Manning man up for Mills. Oh, by the way, Gavin is a gay name. And now we have the game of the week. Not because it was the closest, but because it was the highest scoring game and because it had the most implications in terms of playoffs. Nate makes it in with authority in the high score of the week, and he also spoils Alex's bid for a one-loss season. Despite Nate's general disinterest in all things not named Jennifer Bannock, he rides the Aryan Nation all year to get his spot at the winner's table for the first time in years, and gives gold a legitimate quarterback, Olivinate Starverdi or some other large, white and mobile QB. He also gives the gold division a legitimate threat at winning second place in the golf tournament. Alex loses, but is to feel confident going into playoffs with his running backs playing at such a high level, but the loss of Aaron Rodgers puts that elusive title in doubt. This game very well could be a preview to the finals, with Gunnar and Mike offering loose rectal tone to be plundered in the first round. That's all for me. Hope you enjoyed this week's summary. Now go eat a dick, have a nice night. We are young queers with AIDS. We are young queers with AIDS. We enjoy contracting HIV. We enjoy contracting HIV. Into the bungo's hive, it swims around and infects me, into the grave much too early. We are young queers with AIDS. We are young queers with AIDS.